Hi guys, and welcome to the feed tonight. We are starting up with some more level 4s. We have Acid Burn 00 with us here again tonight. He is trying to get a ship fit, something special for you guys tonight. We'll talk about that here in just a couple of minutes as he gets that completed. So let's go ahead and see what our first mission of the night is going to be. Hopefully we do get a faction mission sometime tonight. It looks like we got the Serpentis Spies. While he's still configuring, I'm going to go ahead and go run this one solo. Shouldn't be a big deal. It's only 1,155 loyalty points. So we're going to just get started right away here tonight. But before I get to that, I need to post in local that we are up and going. Let me get this running here, and then we will get moving right along here. So here we go. We've got that one, so we're going to go ahead and open it up. And we're just going to jump right over there and get this completed. It'll give him a few more minutes, like I said, to get his special fit ship ready. And then we'll get him in here so he can show that to you.
Yes, this was kind of a last-minute decision, so I'm trying to throw this together as quickly as possible. It is probably not going to be the best of fits, but it will be a nice little surprise.
So as you can see tonight, we have some new stuff on our overview. We have the CTV99live.com that we have just got set up today. That does have links to all of our YouTube videos on it, along with descriptions of each mission that we're completing and links to the video feed for each one of those. Now, that is a new website, like I said, that we just got set up. That's going to get updated daily. It is fully searchable. You can even join it if you want and create your own favorite feed links. That is all up to you, but that is definitely an option that you guys should look into. Here we go. We're here. We're going to go ahead and just jump right in here and see what we've got. Okay, looks like we've got another gated community tonight, so we're just going to jump right in here and see who decides to shoot us. I haven't looked up this mission ahead of time, so I don't know what we're actually going to see. Hopefully it'll be kind of fun. While we're in a new system, we're going to go ahead and rebroadcast again and see if we can't get some more hits tonight.
I did not see which system you had went to, so therefore you do not have the bonuses there right now.
That's not a real problem. But because I don't have the bonuses here, I am going to have to move in just a little bit closer so I can get these guns locked up. We have just quite a few of them, and some of them clear out at 100 kilometers, so I'm just going to have to move that direction to get them locked up. As you can see, I'm already taking some shield damage, so I might just stop here for just a second and take out these ones that are pretty close to me with my long-range sentries, so that I can get that damage off of me. Go ahead and start taking out some of these sentry towers that are close here. And as you can see, we're just pounding right through these sentry towers. There are some 1s, 2s, and 3s. Their level does determine how much damage they're doing, so getting that damage off of us will make it quite a bit easier to get further forward here. Now that those are all gone, we're going to go ahead and return our drones, and then we're going to move on just a little bit further. I need to get to within about 75 kilometers of this ruined monument. Once I am at that point, then I should be able to stop and go ahead and kill everything else. Most everything will actually start flying at me when I kill the first ship.
I'm still trying to work around some CPU and power grid issues here with trying to get this ship set up, so trying to find what's going to work and what's going to not, which is one of the wonderful things you always have to deal with in EVE.
That's okay, you got time. I got quite a little ways to fly here.
Oh, okay.
The soundtrack here in EVE tonight is actually being pretty good. I'm quite enjoying this new track set they have in here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here again, and I'm going to finish taking out the last of these sentries so I don't have to deal with them as I get closer up here. So we'll get those locked up, and then we're going to get them knocked off the list. And there we go, that takes the last of those off. So I still have about 30 kilometers yet to go to get in range of these first sets of frigates and ships. And once we're within range, then we'll start killing them. Welcome to the feed, Cap J4. Appreciate you stopping in tonight. Also appreciated you following the feed earlier.
Okay, I have just about finished setting up this ship.
Well, we're all hoping it was well worth the wait.
It's actually coming together quite nicely for just throwing it together at the last minute.
That's the way we like to do it. So I'm still about 6k away from here of getting in range of the first sets of guys. Once I do hit the first ship, they all should start flying towards me, and then I won't have to go any further out. But I do have to get within range of the first one before that is going to be possible. That is the one thing that does suck about the particular fit that I'm on right now, is I do not have an afterburner to make this go a little bit faster. So I do apologize for the amount of time this is taking, but in this particular mission they do set you quite a ways away from where you need to be. So we're now within range of a couple of these guys, so I should be able to stop and start locking them up. and then start firing. I'm going to get our long range guys out here again because they are at the edge of my locking range and get started on killing them. And we are having to start with the battle cruisers, which is not where I would normally start, but because they are what is in range, they are the ones that I get to shoot at first. So as you can see, everything here is starting to come in at me now. So we're just going to start killing them as they get this direction.
Okay, now I am all fit up and actually heading back to the mission system. So I will be ready to go for the next mission coming up.
Could you bring the salvager over to here? I did link it in the corporate chat.
Yes, I already have it in warp to the gate.
And for those of you that are new to our feed tonight, you can hit us up on Twitter at CTV99Live. If you don't want to log directly into Twitter, you can always hit us up via our website, ctv99live.com. Our Twitter feed is on the right-hand side, and you can just post right there to the feed. As you're posting, you will notice that it will show up on the feed, and we do try to respond to those as we see them.
Now, I hope I heard you right earlier saying that it was a gated community that you were killing, so...
Yep, it is gated.
Okay. Don't need to be dropping our salvage ship right in the middle of a battle.
Yep, there's only one port admiral left, and he's not even within range to hit my sentries.
Now, I didn't even look to see what the range is on the setup that I have.
Well, we're going to find that out here in just a minute.
Yes, we are. It will be a surprise to all of us.
And that is the end of what we have for this particular mission. It is now complete, so if our salvager is here, you can go ahead and jump through the gate. I don't need anything else out of here.
Yes, he is in warp to the first gate. So
just let me know when he lands, and then I'll leave and head to the gate.
Alright, he is there, so you can go ahead and go, and he will jump into this room and start cleaning up your mess.
Well, somebody's got to make messes in Eve. Better me than somebody else.
As long as they're not making a mess out of you, then it's alright.
Yep, that's the hope anyway.
And it would help if I actually activated the gate instead of telling the Noctis to orbit it.
Well, orbiting's always fun too, though, you know?
One of the joys of running two accounts, you just kind of click on something on one and hope it's the right thing, and come to find out, usually a little bit later, it's not.
There we go. Now that we're back, we're going to go ahead and go turn this one in. He's already in that room, so it's not a problem. He will be able to stay there without the room disappearing.
Except you left everything one heck of a ways out there.
I told you it was out just a little ways.
Wow. Yeah, everything is 100 to 132 kilometers away. My lock range on this ship is only 93.7k, and my tractor beam range is just a little bit farther than that at 96k, so I will have to move in at least 40k to get the last wrecks in there. Even though there aren't too many, it will take me more time to fly into them and get within range than it will for me to actually pull them in and salvage them.
Briefing request accepted.
So here we go. We're going to go ahead and get this one turned in and complete it. And that ends the first mission of the night. I'm going to take a short break here for just a couple seconds so that I've got an easy way to split this feed later on tonight. There we go. We're going to go ahead and open this up and get started on the next one. Now this next one does have ship restrictions, and it's Smash the Supplier against Ammar. So this one ought to be a little bit of fun. It does pay just a hair over 2.5 million ISK and almost 4,000 loyalty points. So this is a fairly decent one.
Well, this will probably be testing my new ship.
We'll just have to see. If you have to warp out, do feel free to. It is here in the local system. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and undock and get this thing moving forward.
Okay, I am undocking as well, and I am just right behind you, so if you would like to show everybody the beautiful ship that I have put together here for them.
Let's take a quick look. This is the Gnosis. It is one of the special edition ships in EVE. There are very few in the game, so it is kind of funny that he's flying one out into a level 4 mission, but we do happen to have spares, so it's not a real huge problem. But that is one of the new special edition ships.
These ships are limited as they have only handed them out once, and they're only giving out a 5-run BPC copy to certain people coming in October. So these are limited. Once they are destroyed, they will not be brought back. So you cannot, once you lose this ship, unless you buy one from someone who has one, you cannot get another one. This ship is one of the special ones that is, as it is a Jovian ship, which is the alien race in EVE. Their technology is what we have gotten all the rest of the technology in EVE from. They are way more advanced than any of the other EVE races. Unfortunately, you cannot play as them. But there are a few ships out there that you can get of theirs on these special edition and special occasions. So they are nice to have. This one gets bonuses to everything. You can fit any kind of gun or launcher on it that you want. The way it's set up, you can either shield tank it or armor tank it. I actually have this set up for both, so we will see which works out the best.
And apparently my kids are being very annoying at the present moment because we're getting feedback from them in the feed here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I've already got my sentries out. I'm going to start popping the little stuff that should hopefully help him from taking too terrible much damage as we continue on. Being this is Ammar, they're going to be quite heavy on EM damage, so we're just going to have to play this by ear. And they have already started attacking my sentries, so I'm going to have to watch this pretty close to make sure that I don't lose one. We seem to be going through these frigates fairly quickly, so hopefully this isn't going to be a real problem tonight.
I've already started on them, so, and now all we have left are the battleships. Find out how many targets I can keep locked here. Apparently this has a limitation of 6.
And we just got another wave in, so I'm actually gonna start working on those to get the cruisers out of there, and then we're gonna go back and continue to work on the battleships. as it does appear we're going to have quite a few battleships in this one before we have it completed.
Now this does seem to be like some of the other ones that we have been getting this past few days, that it does not pay out on bounties, but it does pay out in tags. So they will drop Navy tags, and those are what you sell or keep to use to buy Navy faction items.
I'm actually going to switch to my guards for just a minute and take out one of these battleships that's pretty close here, and then I will go back to finishing on some of these others. We just got 2 more frigates in. I'm actually going to have to start unlocking some stuff here that I'm not going to be shooting at here for a few minutes until I can get some of that damage alleviated. I'm hoping to get this one battleship completely killed before I have to recall in my guards. I don't know how well that's going to happen though, because they are starting to take some serious damage. Okay, I did get 1 off the list. So now we're going to relaunch our wardens and get back started on this cruiser that was on its way in, and see if we can't get that taken care of here real quick. While we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and repair up the one as well that took some damage just a second ago, and then we'll get them firing at the next one.
And apparently one of my drones has attracted the attention of most of the fleet that is out here, so I had to recall them.
And my wardens are now starting to miss these frigates here, which is a little bit annoying. So we're going to switch to a different one here real quick and see if we can't get him hit.
Yes, the frigates are not heading directly towards you anymore. They're actually heading at me. So that is probably why. Makes them a little bit more difficult to hit if they are heading at an angle from you instead of heading directly at you.
That being the case, I'm going to skip off of them for the moment, and I'm going to go ahead and get back to the cruisers that are popping up here on the list. And we just had 2 more frigates come in.
And now I am not going to be hitting them as well, as they have started tracking disrupting me, which means that the tracking speed of my turrets will be slowed down greatly, making it a lot harder to hit these smaller frigates.
I'm going to see if my guards can't take out 1 or 2 of the frigates that are getting really close here, as I've had to switch drones again to try to make sure that I can get any kind of damage in. And I'm having to continuously repair them tonight because they keep taking aggro.
Oh, and I have got to get out of here. I am trying. They have all got me up, and I am just leaving drones and gone.
I did not have him on a watch list. I should have had that.
Woo. Luckily, I have my warning alarms, and they were going off. Even though I do have 70% resist across all shields and armor, they still melted through that pretty quickly.
I'm going to go ahead and return all my drones in now that they're starting to take a lot of aggro, so hopefully that switches onto me instead of my sentries. Go ahead and start trying to get some of these frigates out of here with our long-range sentries again, so that we can get that damage nullified. And he'll be back with us in just a second once he gets a chance to do a little bit of repairing on his ship.
Yes, considering they actually got me down into structure before I was able to leave. So, it's getting a little bit hairy there.
Well, I'm trying everything I can to try to get these frigates off the list so that we can deal with that damage a little bit better. I'm now having to return my drones again due to damage to them. This is being an okay run, but we're doing a lot of switching and flopping around to try to make sure that we can continue to hit things without losing any of our expensive drones that we have out tonight. So let's see if we can't get a few more of these guys off the list with our short-range drones that do a lot more damage and just get these guys just knocked right off here. And we just got yet another wave. And they just do not like us tonight, I'm thinking.
Well, if I have to warp out again, I will switch to a different ship and make sure that we can take these out quite a bit faster.
My guard's back in here, and we're going to get our other sentries back out, and we're going to go ahead and get back onto this battleship that's here and try to get him destroyed here relatively quickly, while repairing up another one of our drones that have taken quite a bit of damage. Now, by swapping back and forth, I am getting the ability of keeping the damage off of me and rotating it between my drones. That is not, however, good if I cannot repair those drones.
Now that my capacitor has at least gotten back to about half charge, I'm going to go ahead and activate this gate and get back in here. Got my shields and armor back up completely.
Some extra damage would be welcomed. They are just making it very, very much so fun trying to cycle between drones here.
Well, I am starting on the battleships from closest to farthest. Since I do have some range on here, it will help a little bit. But they have already started to lock me up. And have already started to tear through my shields at an alarming rate.
The capacitor is empty.
Those battleships do not like you tonight. I'm still trying to negate the cruiser and frigate damage that's coming in, but the battleship damage right now is what is hammering through him. As you can see, his shields are gone and armor is starting to take some damage here. So if he has to warp out again, that's okay. I've gotten a few more ships out of the way while he's been able to negate some of this damage for me, which is going to make this just go a little bit faster here. He's already 50% armor now, a little bit less now.
And what is really hurting me is the fact that they keep tracking disrupting me, which, as I said before, just completely makes me miss on using guns, and since this is a gun fit, it's really not helping. So, and as you see, I just went ahead and warped out. Don't want to take any more structure damage, as my structure has 0 resistances to any type of damage. It will go down pretty quick once I get into structure.
My sentries are going down very, very quickly now. I actually lost one before I could get them all in. Just from the consolidated damage that was happening here. So we're going to try to get another one of these. It's right on top of us. Gone. Hopefully I do not lose any more tonight. This is indeed a very tough mission to get through.
I just hope that there are no more waves, because that would really make it extremely difficult.
I'm just going to have to keep switching back and forth between here until I can get... until my sentries start taking damage. And once they do, then I'm just going to have to keep switching back and forth to keep damage continual here.
Just trying to get repaired some before I dock and switch up to a fast ship that I will be able to speed in there and start laying down some good damage instead of the damage that I've been doing, which hasn't really been the greatest because of all that tracking disruption they have been putting on me.
My wardens are currently missing more, and I'm about to lose another one. I'm probably going to lose another one here before I can get it in. I did not, luckily. Launch back up here with our guards and see what we can do for some damage here. If I can, I'm going to try to get a little bit of repair done on one of these before they start taking some serious damage again. And another one that they just completely decimated armor on in just an instant, and I did lose it before I could ever even think about recalling it. They are doing quite a bit of damage to my sentries tonight. I do not know why, when I've recalled them, that they are not returning to the drone bay. I'm going to get them back in here. Yep, now I've lost 2 sentries in this particular mission, so, and we just had yet another wave come in.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I am coming in with my Proteus. It has 85% resists across the board on armor, and it does have 2 armor reps on here, so hopefully that will be able to keep up with the damage that they are doing, as well as the speed that I can keep on this ship. That Gnosis was only going at about 150 meters a second, which makes it a very big slow target. So this I can actually get up to about 570 or 590, which will make it a lot harder to hit. I also have ECM drones, which are electronic countermeasure drones. These are target disruption drones. So just as they were disrupting me, I can do the same to them using these drones.
And I'm actually going to hold back here just a minute and see if he can't take some of that damage off of my sentries before I get started. So if you start on the closest battleship here, we should be able to negate some of that over onto you, and your speed tank will be able to keep that damage at a minimal.
Well, that is the plan anyways. In a mission like this, it would be nice if you knew what the triggers were for the next waves, so this way you could hold off on killing that ship until the very end.
Trying to get my drones back here before I lose another one, and I still didn't do it. There went another sentry. So my damage has already been negated quite a bit from what I can do. Even before I could get any damage repaired on my sentries, I was already losing them.
Oh, and now I am getting hit with energy neutralizers, which is not good. That will hurt my tank quite a bit. I will broadcast that target there so you can see which one it is, and
That's actually the one I'm shooting at right now, believe it or not. I'm not doing a whole lot of damage because I am running out of sentries. I might have to go pick up some more and come back.
they have already burned through my shields and are starting into armor.
And I've just barely taken out 2/3 of his shields. But I am trying to keep damage going his direction.
Yes, I am going to have to leave again as they are doing more damage here than I can repair. I'm going to try to get my transversal up by moving off to the side of them and hopefully be able to repair some and stay in here and keep damage going onto that ship for as long as I can.
It's at least given me a second or two to get some damage repaired on my sentries.
And if you see on his watch list that is helping, I am able to get some of the damage off of me. I am going to have to recall my drones, though, as they are taking some heavy damage now.
We've almost got this guy down. We got him into structure for just a second, and now he is moving just out of the range of my guards where I cannot hit him near as easily. So he is actually starting to rip up some of that damage.
Yes, and I have actually flown out of range of him, so I am having to move back. I am manually flying my ship by just clicking out in space and moving around and trying to outmaneuver their guns. This appears to be about the only way I'm going to be able to stay alive at this point. So I'm just going to have to try to keep an eye on where he is and maneuver between all these ships and try not to fly either straight at them or straight away from them, as that will then make me an easier target for them to hit.
Almost got that first one down, and then I'm going to get back onto these cruisers if I can. And if you get another nuke, please let me know so I can get started on that one directly.
Yes, I definitely will let you know, as that would be the death of me if they nuked out my capacitor, considering I am running double reppers, and right now they are working at full speed and barely keeping up.
And
if you actually had a second to zoom in on my ship, it looks like a Pink Floyd laser light show around me.
Yep, there you go. Everybody can now see what you look like. And I am down to just 3 sentries that can fire at anything in range, so I am just trying to take out these cruisers, which I can hit the easiest and take off the damage list.
Yes, those cruisers are heading towards me, and they will be adding more damage to me the closer they get. Apparently they are now in range, or I just flew in towards one of the big battleships because I took a massive chunk of damage there for a second. I am actually going to help your drones by switching my web off of this battleship and putting it onto this last cruiser here, so this way it'll slow him down for your drones to be able to hit it harder and kill it faster.
Okay, we are down to that battleship that's right on top of us here, and then we're going to move right on forward to the next one. See if we can't get him taken off the list here real quickly here. As he is under the 50k range, I can go ahead and launch out at least a couple of guards, and now he's gone. We're just going to tell our guards and our wardens to just fire at the next ship that was closest to us here and get started on him.
Okay, I had broadcast the target, but that was actually the second one on my list. So I will go ahead and start firing on the one that you have there. I can see the damage on him, and luckily I'm only flying straight into 2 battleships, so most of the other ones that are all around me will be missing.
Well, this is one of the tougher missions that we've actually had, just due to the fact that all the damage is in one room, and it is all coming very, very continuously. I have not lost this many centuries since we have started playing.
I have only had this much trouble one other time, and that was a mission that I have not got again, and unfortunately I do not remember the name of it, but when I had looked up the mission later, it ended up being that mission was the equivalent of a level 5. I had a really strong tank ship. It was a T3 just as this is, except it was what's called a Tengu and was shield tanked. It had a very large tank with very high resistances, and I still had to warp out of there twice because the waves were on a timer. So it did not matter who you killed, it mattered how fast you could kill them.
So we're running right on through now. That Imperial Ultra is starting to get a little bit far away. I am able to still hit it for the present moment, so we're going to go ahead and keep trying to take it out and get it off the list here as well.
I'm going to attempt to head to that one, but that is heading right into a lot of this fire, so this might not be the smartest thing to do, but if I start taking a lot of hits, I can just maneuver in a different direction and try to get out of direct fire.
I would actually appreciate it if you'd fly back towards me. You're getting to be about 80 kilometers away from me now.
Ah, yes, I can see that now.
And that'll help bring some of these guys back into range to where my guards can actually hit them. Zolite 60's asking if we're having a rough night, and yes, we are having a very rough night tonight. This particular mission, Smash the Supplier, is being a whole lot more difficult than we thought it would be. And a Dami with a micro jump drive would be very good for this one. The damage is quite a bit on that particular ship. It is quite a bit on this one too. The only problem I've run into tonight is that when a little bit ago when we had about 25 ships, they would all lock up a single sentry, and in a single volley they would take it out. And that does make it very, very difficult to try to manage any kind of damage. I'm already working on one of the industrial ships that has been floating around out here. I'm going to go ahead and start taking them off the list. They're actually what we're out here to kill, as I do recall. We also have to destroy the enemy shipyards and the control tower, so we're just going to have to keep going here. In Zolite 60, just in case you didn't see, we do have a new website live. It is ctv99live.com. It does happen to have all of our previous footage broke down into missions and categories for you. to where you can review those and see what those missions were like. I'm working on the next industrial here, and then I will get back to some of the other guys here in just a second. Now, he is dragging them in a little bit closer here. He will have to stay back here for just a little bit, though, and orbit me to get them to finish moving in. But that is just how that goes.
Yes, as long as I keep moving, I will minimize the damage as much as possible. And since I am moving at a decently fast speed, it will minimize it even more. I'm going to actually have to increase my orbit range because right now I'm actually slowing down to about 75% of my speed trying to keep this tight of an orbit.
Yeah, I'd say a 10K or so orbit should be plenty.
I'm setting it to 5K. It was 2,500. That's what I had to set it for last night because the Loki has an optimal range of only 1,600 meters.
Very nice. And I'm going to be starting on an Imperial Bativa, I guess. I don't know. It's an Imperial B something or other. It's an APOC. We're just going to blow it up.
We're just hoping to kill them all before they kill us.
Yeah, definitely. Before I lose any more drones, that would be wonderful. I'm already going to be out about 3 million ISK just to replace the 2 that I've lost.
I am just glad I made it out in time and did not lose that nice, shiny new Gnosis, even though it will need a new paint job now.
Zelight60 was asking if any of us did the weekend event on Warframe. We did happen to play just a little bit on Warframe. I don't know if I actually did that specific event, but I did play just a little bit.
That event was actually too high up a level for us. It was in the level 21 to 30 range. We're actually just started, and today I actually reset my account. I used the free one-time only reset in order to get things back to 0 on there because I had no idea what I was doing and had things all screwed up.
He's saying that he has been in Warframe since the closed beta, so now he only plays when new stuff is available or during these specialty missions. I'm going to split our drone damage here just a little bit, so hopefully our guards can start hitting this Imperial Navy Ultra that's over here while we finish the Ultra that's out at 60 kilometers.
I am trying to see which ones you're shooting, so this way I can now, since my drones all these ships are within lock range of me, I can now see who you're shooting at and get my drones on them. So I have my drones headed towards the one that is 60 from you. So hopefully that will make it go down quite a bit faster.
We can always hope. But now that we're not getting any more waves in, as you can see from the amount of wrecks that are on the screen here, there were just a few guys in here when we first came in, and with the waves continuously popping about every 2 minutes, it did take just a little bit out of us to be able to get this one under control. That is the one nice thing about EVE, is no matter what your skills are and what you're flying, they will always find a mission somewhere that will kick your ass.
And for all of you that saw this mission from the start, you should have seen how quickly it melted that Gnosis I was flying. Shields and armor had went in an extremely fast rate. So it got pretty scary considering that I set that ship up in about 10 minutes time in order to get it out here for you guys to see it. And unfortunately it did not perform very well.
Well, it performed pretty well, but it would just not be ready for level 4s. It's probably a very good level 3 and below ship.
I'm sure if it had an afterburner or a micro warp drive on it, it would have done a lot better. But seeing as it was pretty slow moving around here, and all these big guns that are out here shooting, it did not handle all the EM and thermal damage that these guns are doing.
And now these guys are all within range of all my drones, so we're going to just start pounding through them one at a time and get them knocked out. I don't generally do split damage, but when I have two different sets of drones out because I'm running out of drones, we kind of do have to do that.
And since some of these guys are within 30 and 40k, I'm going to go ahead and start heading towards them so I can get my guns on them and start killing them just a bit faster. But I am actually flying straight into 3 of them, so I am taking a fair bit of damage right now. As you can see on his watch list, you should see my armor fluctuating. I am running 2 armor repairs. A single one repairs 480 hit points every 9 seconds, and it repairs that at the end of the cycle, not at the beginning, as in shield reppers do. So I do have 2 of them, and I have them staggered, so I am repping about 480 every 4.5 seconds.
At some point here on one of these nights, we might actually take the time to go through and look at the mission before we actually run it.
Before we jump headlong into our death.
There's the light saying that on the bright side, at least the damage is not the same as a wormhole. Would be a shame to see an Omni tank damage ship during missioning. Yeah, that would kind of suck just a little bit. And there goes another one, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the one he's already firing on and get him some extra damage at it.
These guys better drop some really good tags with how much they have cost us. Because I'm not sure if we have any remote hull reps in the hangar. And if not, I'm going to need to actually pay for those Gnosis repairs.
Now we can fly the Gnosis back to home system. We do have one full hull rep ship. We just used it to repair one of our obelisk. But that will happen after the show is completed. We'll get that repaired back up so we can run it yet again on another night.
And I will review its setup and modify it to where it will be a lot better than what it is now. As I said, I set that up in about 10 minutes time, just grabbing parts off of the market to try to get it up and running for this stream.
The light saying that it's really annoying that the wormhole rats do not have weak spots in their resistances, as it does not really matter what you bring when you're working against an Omni-tanked ship. Yeah, they are really designed, as far as I am aware, and in the couple of times that I've seen them, for multiple people to go in against, or to just have extremely superior firepower. And this Imperial Templar keeps repping the damage that I'm doing to it, so let's hope I can get him down a little bit lower here.
Yes, it is actually repping quite well.
Yeah, the one you're firing at and the one I'm firing at, because we have both of them dying. And they are able to rep back that damage quite well.
Yes, they are repping back. Let's see if I can see there. Yeah, they're repping back about 15% of their armor every time they rep. So that is a pretty good, sizable amount there. I'm not even sure what direction you are anymore from me.
I'm about 76 kilometers behind you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, flying fast, you kind of lose direction and can get distance between us pretty quickly.
This is like saying that in his experience, it's 75% damage, 25% tank. It doesn't matter how tanky you are, they will newt you until you are dust. You have to have good damage output to make sure you're not dying. That is absolutely correct on that. Like I said, you do have to have superior firepower or high DPS to be able to handle those kind of situations, so you are actually able to make some money off of them. As this Imperial Templar is getting a little bit closer to me, I'm starting to break his tank just a little bit. Hopefully I can get him killed without needing any additional assistance. What I might do, since he's so close, is go ahead and return one of my long-range sentries here and get out one of my short-range. Get these guys out here so I can try to get a little bit more damage for the close range here on him and do just a little bit more to him. That's if my guards will quit missing him. I'm not real sure as to why they would be missing at 30k when they can hit clear up to 50.
They're missing for the same reason that my light drones were not able to hit a station yesterday.
It's the light saying that he makes very good money in the wormhole, between 75 and 125 million for each location that they find in the C2 and C3s. Yeah, that is pretty good money. That's as good as some of the complexes that we were running in the negative 0.9 and 1.0 negative. There we go. I finally have enough damage on this guy. I finally got him into structure. Hopefully he will quit repping his armor here for just a second, and I'll be able to just pop him right off the map here.
I am speeding towards this guy that looks like he is either directly below or in front of you there at that Templar Martyr, and I will start on him as soon as I get within range.
There we go. We got one more down. Now we're going to move on to this Martyr. And there go his shields very, very quickly. And his armor is starting to go down just as nicely. So this guy must not have near the tank that the last one did. And there goes his structure, and then we've got to finish killing a couple other things on the map here, and then we should be done. Let me get our buildings up here and see what we've got. We have some shipyards here and a control tower that we're going to have to take out here. I'm going to have to try to get out as many wardens as I have left to be able to do some damage to those and get those off the list here. Let's start with the shipyards and start taking those out.
And while you are doing that, I will switch screens here and get our Noctis in here to start salvaging.
Yeah, there are just a few wrecks in here to pick up from.
Yes, this may take a while.
It's pretty bad when the cruiser shipyard is actually repping the damage that I'm doing to it because I don't have enough wardens left.
That is sad, because I didn't think any of those buildings actually repped.
Zelite saying that he remembers doing level 3s in a tanked Drake and finding these frigs that were extremely tanky that no matter how much you shot at, they would just rep the damage back. Yeah, I hate it when you find those guys. You just really want to just walk up and smack them upside the head and say, die already.
Those are the ones that you wish you could just ram your big ship into and kill them and watch them explode and then keep on going.
So hopefully the tags in this one make up for the amount of time it's taken to get it completed and the losses that we've had tonight. We can always hope anyway.
I'm just hoping that how bad we started out is not a prelude of things to come.
Yeah, let's hope that tonight gets a little bit better as we continue on. However, at the end of this mission, when we do have it completed, we will be taking a break just to go get some drinks and to use the restroom here. Looks like we've got some perverts in local tonight, just having a real good time with one of the characters here in local.
I didn't even have local up. I'm just reading back on that now.
The lights going, he would think that the bounties alone would pay for the losses in this particular mission. Unfortunately, there were 0 bounties in this mission. It is all tags, so we would have to fly those somewhere to get recovery from that. There were no bounties paid in this particular mission. Now, if we could get 0-0 to go straight towards that shipyard and start firing, that would be amazing. I will not have the DPS to take it all the way out on my own.
Well, let me bring up my buildings. Which shipyard? Because I actually have 3 on my list.
It's the Amar Shipyard Control Tower.
Okay. Start speeding towards that. I will actually launch my hammerheads now and get them out there. And I have to get back over here to the salvager because I just had everything disappear off of his list.
And yep, I have to agree. I do like seeing 1 million ISK bounty battleships. They do make for a very nice day. In low sec, if I did not see them at least 1.5 million, sometimes I would not even complete the Plex because it was not worth the time to be there. So as you can see, we're down to the last 2 buildings that are required to complete this. We do have to destroy all of the enemy shipyards plus the control tower before this one is complete. If we were blitzing, we could have just jumped in, destroyed those 4 pieces, and jumped out. However, we do not tend to blitz just due to the ISK factor, and that is that you can make a lot of money in the tags and in the bounties of all the ships that are here, so long as we can tank it.
which was actually starting to get questionable on this mission.
Yep, it was about time for me to go get my Navy-issue Dami or my Sin and bring it back.
I was actually contemplating logging in my other character and bringing the Rattlesnake out, so...
Just about to pop the final shipyard here, and then we'll get onto this control tower.
This control tower has some decent shields on it, as I am only about 75% through shields.
Let's hope armor is not just as bad. And there goes the last shipyard, so now we're going to get all of our damage here over onto that control tower and see if we can't just start getting it to disappear here. Now my wardens are doing almost 500 per in damage, so that should help knock this thing down just a little bit faster here. We're hoping that the structure is not insane, otherwise I might have to move forward with my guards and get within range.
Right now, the only thing that is insane is the amount of wrecks that are in this room.
Yeah, there were just a few ships that came in. Sounds like one of us just got a message, I'm not sure who.
Don't believe it was me.
It was actually me. And Zelight 60 is saying that apparently the ice belt ganking that Goonswarm has been doing is falling apart now that everyone is running a skiff, which is basically an ice miner with a battleship-style tank, which does not make it very easy to take out, and it costs way too much to gank a skiff. So if you're unaware of what's going on right now, it would be recommended that you are in a skiff while you're mining, just to make sure that you are not being ganked. Here we go, we've got that one done, and now it says we are complete. So I've got my sentries reloaded, the few that I have left, and then we are going to go ahead and go turn this one in. And then we're going to take, like I said, a short break, and then we will be right back.
Warp drive active.
While Zelight has done the math, and it's roughly 1 billion ISK to gank a single 200 million ISK skiff. So that is definitely not worth the cost and the time that it would take to take one out.
That is one of the things I love about the rebalance that they did on the ore mining ships, was that they did make one that was originally designed to be a low-sec ninja miner, and actually put a strong enough tank on there for it to actually do that.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get this one turned in here now that we've actually completed it. And somewhere tonight we will be getting a faction mission, as I have done enough missions at this point that very soon I should be seeing one. So we're going to go ahead and close that out. We did not get one right away this time, and we will be right back here in just a couple of minutes. So if you'll excuse us, we will be right back. Okay, guys, sorry about the delay on that. We are back now. I am just docking back at the main station here, and then we'll grab another one and continue on. We did have to go restock after that last mission due to the amount of EM damage that was being taken and the loss of sentries. Now, the payout on salvage, however, just as a heads up on that particular mission, was almost 45 million ISK. So, all in all, even for the losses, it should balance out quite well. It only cost a little over 3.5 million ISK to repair what I had, and by the time we use our repair ships on the other ships that we have that took damage, we should balance out quite well.
Yes, surprisingly enough, the Gnosis's repair in station was 0, even though it did have 7% structure damage. The only thing it charged me for was the repair of my drones, which was only about 2,500 ISK.
Here we go, we are back in station now, so let's go ahead and see what we get next. We got surprise again. This one again is against Ammar, so this will be a pretty quick one. It's not near as difficult as the last one. We're going to accept that one and then get headed that direction.
And I am actually going to bring out a different ship again.
That's alright.
We'll mix things up just a little bit tonight.
Let's see what he's bringing out here. Well, he said he was coming out. There he is. Well, let's see what he brought out. Get in here on this thing. That looks like a Stabber fleet issue.
Nope, this is the T2. It is the Vagabond, and I actually forgot to replace the Warp Scrambler I have on here with a web. So
this will be kind of fun. Looks like he's going to go back in and change that out real quick, and then we'll jump over here.
Yes, this will only take me just a second to swap out.
And he has disappeared into the station.
And I'm actually just going to grab a spare Stasis Webifier 2 off the market. This way I don't have to pull the one off of my Loki. So if I decide to bring that out later, I won't have to refit it. So, we're undocking again, and we can get on our way.
See that he's out, so we're going to go ahead and jump straight to the gate here, and then we'll get into the next system and get this one completed. This one does not take very long, should take about 10 minutes, and then we can get right on to another mission. We're trying to get to a faction mission tonight, as we did not have one last night. We're trying to go ahead and get to one tonight. Now, the particular character that I'm on needs to get his faction standing above a 5.0 on the base standing, which is why we're pounding through all of these on him tonight. Later on, we'll be switching to some other pilots to get their standings up as well and be letting them take the missions and get us to these points, and then we'll be just flying shotgun as they are now. We do that because our corporation needs the standing to make sure that it can move its POS around as needed.
Yes, I think my standings on here are only at about a 1.5 for base. So I will need to get his faction standings up sometime. in order to help that along, as the corporation standings run off of a average of every active member in the corp. And I am through the gate if you want to warp us.
Okay, here we go.
Warp drive active.
And I will get the Noctis in warp to the system, so we will have our bonuses.
Here we go. Should have just one ship to begin with in here, and then everyone else should show up. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this one ship at range, and then we should see everyone else just get right out here and on top of us. So there we go. We were attacking that one now. And here come the next set of AMR ships. The AMR do have to hate us right now because that appears to be the only ones we are getting to shoot at lately. But that's okay. I'm not real fond of them either. The religious zealots of the universe shall disappear by my guns and my guns alone.
Okay, well, I'll just warp off and leave you to your fun then.
On this one, that would not be a real problem.
I could have done that on the last one.
Yeah, I would have just had to go get some more sentries.
Okay, I cannot lock these guys that are below us here. They are 108k. I don't think you can either, so if you want me to speed in and hit them and then speed back, I can. I do fly at about 1k a second on this ship, so...
It actually looks like they're already starting to move this direction. They have their micro warp drives on, so... We're just going to get these close-up guys here taken care of first. And then we're going to deal with the other ones as they get here. Here we go. We have two battleships that are still at close range here, so we're going to get them knocked off the list now.
I don't even remember. I have stasis web drones on this fitting.
So that'll be fun. That'll slow them down and allow me to hit them just a little bit harder. And it looks like they must have just switched to you on the lower three, because they have now unlocked me completely.
Yep, they have actually all switched to me. But seeing as I am moving at a decently fast pace, good luck with them actually hitting me.
Oh, but now they have a stasis tower on you.
Yep, and that actually took my speed down by quite a bit. So I have the... I don't even know how to pronounce that. I will just broadcast the target and let you take that one out, but he is stasis webbed with the drones.
Yep, I'm currently working on him.
I'm going to slowly make my way towards that stasis tower. I am locking up the two cruisers next, and I will send my stasis drones after them. I've just broadcast my next target so you can know which one that they will be heading to.
And I'm starting to get locks back from the Tinkyus or whatever they are. way
whatever
out
they're
there.
called.
They're starting to lock me up now too and firing directly at me. As you can see, the missiles are hitting me now. We're just going to let them move in a little bit closer, so hopefully we don't have to move quite as far away. If we get lucky, that stasis web will switch to me as well.
And I will just keep webbing these guys while I slowly make my way to this Caldari stasis tower.
And we're going to work on that first one that was within range here. I can't seem to lock up the other two. They are still too far away for me. We're just going to work on that first one here and get him gone.
And was the one that I marked the one that you can shoot at?
Nope, it is the Imperial Takana. Or
He
Tanaka.
is. Yep, he is out of my lock range and my drone range. So
The other one is just starting to come into my range, so it'll be just a second here and I'll actually be able to lock him up and get firing on him.
okay, well I will recall my drones then and let him go to full speed so they can get within range of you faster. And flying this slow really stinks.
You're still flying faster than me, man. Here we go. We just got another wave of battleships in and another stasis tower. So now he is even slower
Yes.
than he was before.
And they have... These two ships have now locked me up. So...
Hopefully they continue to move at me just a little bit closer here. Otherwise I'm going to have to move in to reach them. I do have one almost dead. And the other one seems to be pretty stable at 84 kilometers away, which is just a hair bit out of my range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell mine to guard him. And let's see if they'll start firing at the next closest guy here. And it does not look like they're going to, so we're going to go ahead and return them, and I'm going to get moving towards one of these stasis towers until I get another one of these guys in range.
I have one of them in range as I am flying towards the stasis tower, so I will just try to do what damage I can on him, and it looks like he just switched and started locking you up again, so they are switching on to you. Even though I still have these stasis towers locked onto me.
They have now officially all locked me up, so we're just going to have to keep going right on ahead here. The light says he's going to be right back, and that's great, man. We hope to see you in a few minutes.
Yeah, these stasis towers have actually knocked me down to about 10% of my speed, and that is with the afterburner active. So I have went from a max speed of 920 meters a second down to, it appears to be 80.1.
Nice. They do like you. So I'm going to stop right here. These guys are all within about 85 or 90 kilometers. They should continue to get closer as they're flying towards me as I kill the first one here. And we'll just have to continue on that way. Work on this one that was the closest to me here, and then we're going to get on to the next one.
That is not even fair.
Did a third one pop out and get you?
No, these stasis towers have, what are they called? The missile defense systems on them, so they're shooting my missiles down.
That's actually kind of funny. Here we are, we're already on to the next one here. The other two have now switched targets, so they must be moving back to you again. But they are
Yes, they
within
did.
81 kilometers now. Now they're down to 80. So they did get close enough that I can continue to fire on them.
Now, if I so decided, I could just warp off and let these stasis towers switch over to CTV and then warp back in and speed off to them really quickly. But at this point, with only a couple battleships left, there really is no need to bother with that.
Yep, and as fast as these last two battleships are dying, we should be just fine.
And I just finally destroyed one of the stasis towers, so I will be picking up some more speed now.
There went one, and now we're on to the last battleship here.
And he is getting some stasis web drones sent on to him, so this way you should be able to kill him just a bit faster.
Yep, cut his speed down quite a bit. I don't know that I actually have speed turned on in my overview here. Well, let's see if I can do that. Nope, I can't. He's already killed it.
Yes, these are just the lights, so they only cut the speed down by 5%, but 5% for each one, so that is actually a cumulative of 25% for the 5 light drones. And
So-
are you in range of this last stasis tower?
I am not. I am still 20 kilometers away from being able to hit it. Now, I do have our velocities up now, so I'm going to rearrange my windows here just a bit so that we can see those. We can start watching the velocity, and you guys can see what those drones are actually doing in later runs here. Tenny says, "Yo, dogs, what's up?" Hey, what's up, man? Glad you're able to join us again. Just in case you didn't notice on the feed tonight, we do have a new website up, ctv99live.com. You can catch all of the amazing action and fun and laughs that we have on there. We do have all of our feeds broken down. On the EVE feeds in particular, we have them broken down by mission and by level. So you can take a look at that. They are out there for you to get a good peek at. Tell my guys to guard you. They cannot fire due to the fact that you are outside of my 80-kilometer range. So what I might need to do on this one is take my repairer off and take one of my guns off and put on a Sentry extender to give me that additional 25 kilometers of control range.
It's okay, I just got into gun range, and there it goes.
Okay, so now that we have that gone, we should be able to continue on here.
And I've already got the salvager in here, and everything is just barely within its range. And of course, I started locking targets before launching my salvage drones, so that's gonna suck just a little bit.
Luckily, there aren't too many ships in here, so I'm already warping back to the gate to get this one turned in. I will leave everybody to make their way back.
I see how you are. Just leave us all here to our own devices.
Well, didn't want to do an auto jump because that would take the salvager with it, so...
And now that I have got one salvaged and a can out here, I can lock up the container and tell my drones to salvage it, and they will automatically start salvaging the wrecks. Kind of a weird way to do it, but it works.
It definitely does. Now I want to give a shout out and let you guys know that if there are any games that you'd like us to review or would like to see us play, you are more than welcome to put a request in either the Twitch chat or send us a Eve mail if you're in Eve, and we can definitely take that into consideration to do one. That is how we got our Warframe feeds started. We will start going through that mission by mission and planet by planet, just to extend out that feed just a bit, as we are both enjoying it quite a bit. So if there are other games out there you would like to see us play, you are more than welcome to make those requests. You can also do that via Twitter at hashtag CTV99Live, and we will get those into the queue to see what we can do to get those played.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Now we're going to go ahead and get this one turned in now.
You know, what's bad about these missions is by the time I get 0-0 standings up, he will probably have worse Ammar standings than any of my other characters.
That is the one problem with running in Gallente space. So let's see what we get here next. We got Stop the Thief. I think we've seen this one last night, but we're going to go do it again anyway. We do need the one report out of the thief, and then we should be able to get back. This isn't a 1.0, so it should not be horribly, horribly difficult. Up so you guys can see it again, and then we will get moving that direction.
Now, I do love the look of my Vagabond now that CCP has remodeled it and put the fins back on there to actually make it look more like an evil dragon or snake when you look at it from the front. They did remodel it a while back and remove those, and everybody complained who flies them, and they ended up listening to all the complaints and changing it back, and also giving it a really nice new paint job. So one of the nice things about Eve compared to a lot of other games is that the developers do listen to all the requests, comments, and complaints that people have, and do take them into consideration when they are redoing remodels and doing updates and upgrades to everything.
So here we go. I'm already jumping in. He should be here in just a second if he's not already in. He was flying faster than I was.
And I am in now.
So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this and get started. As you can see, I do have the velocities listed now, so you will be able to see the velocities of the ships that are coming in and at us. That will also let you see how we are doing with those stasis web drones that he has fit tonight, and you can see how slow that does actually make the ship that you are using them against. Here we are at the mission with all of the mercenaries, and they happen to be quite a little ways out, so we're going to go ahead and just start on this overlord that's right on top of us and let them make their way to us.
Wow, they are just all a bunch of frigates.
So far, they do, if I recall, have a few more that come in here. And they've all already started to lock me up. I do have all of the aggro except for the overlord, so I'm going to go ahead and get him taken off the map here real quick. And you can see that those frigates are doing about 600 to 700 meters a second. They're up to 800, almost 900 meters a second. So they are moving just quite quickly at us here. There went our overlord, and now we got a whole bunch more in as well. I'm going to go ahead and start on this battleship since I already have lights out, or I have my close range out. And just let those mercenary wingmen get in on top of us here.
Ooh, they are doing some decent damage to me. I really need to get moving, and they do have me warp scrambled. So I need to start taking out some of these frigates here.
I'm going to get the battleships off of you here really quick while I have, like I said, my short-range sentries out.
Oh, yes, I am in armor.
I see that. Wow. They have you going down pretty fast there. I'm going to keep knocking out battleships. I've already got 2 of them almost off of you, and then I'm going to start working on the cruisers. Hopefully you can stick around, otherwise jump out the moment you need to. He is now moving at almost twice the speed of anybody else that's currently here, so we're going to continue to knock these guys out and try to get some of these off of him. Now the damage has reverted back to me. So they are now starting to pound into me here, which is fine for the moment.
Yes, I ended up just pointing towards a gate and taking off in order to get some distance, because this is a shield tank ship, and as you can see, they have me down to 23% armor. I really do not want to lose this ship, as it is a few $100 million for the setup.
I want to welcome our new viewers to the channel. I don't see your names just yet, but when I do, I will give you a shout out, or you can X up in the chat and I'll give you a shout out.
Now, I am a ways off of everybody now, so I'm actually going to turn around and do a little speed trick here.
Now, do you have an armor repair on that ship?
No, I do not.
The Light 60 is back. Welcome back, man. Glad you could come back.
And as you guys can see, I actually just warped to some of these rocks that are out here to try to get these guys off of me for a second.
And I'm down to just about the frigates that are left. I've already taken out everything else that was out here, so we're just going to let my short-range sentries just have some fun and take these guys out.
Now, we have mentioned before in other broadcasts about the dangers of warp scrambling, and as you've seen there, you got to watch that firsthand.
Yeah, because they can very much so keep you from getting out of the situation, which can make it very, very detrimental to how you are trying to play. Now, all the frigates are currently switching to him and headed towards him, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to actually shoot at them before they're going to be out of my range, as their transversals and speeds are faster than my Guard 2s can handle right at the present moment.
Which is fine, because they are heading to me. I can actually take them out, because once they get within range, these guns do a massive amount of damage.
I'm going to go ahead and switch to the lieutenants that are on their way out there and help take those out, since now they are within my firing range.
Yes, and I am headed back towards you, so I will be dragging these guys along as I kill them.
I actually called out the wrong ones. A little bit annoying here.
And I just had one web me, so that's going to be a little detrimental to my tank, as my tank is partially a speed tank.
As you can see, he's down to 250 meters per second. Looks like he's just starting to go back up again now that that guy has been popped. And as we're going here, you can see that these cruisers are starting to die, even though they do have him locked up. We didn't get a chance to see those web drones in action. Hopefully in the next one we will have a few more battleships to make that very, very visible on how they function.
Well, if you are watching these guys, I will send them out towards this one right here, so you can watch their speed as they get to it, if he doesn't kill them first.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Nope.
Yeah,
he didn't make it.
Make it.
There we go, and that ends yet another mission. The only thing we need to pick up is the reports, so I need to find the jet can that is fairly close to me here and get that picked up. And while that's happening, our salvaging ship can get in here and start taking care of this.
Yes, and I will have to pull a armor rep off of one of my other ships to toss on here to get the armor back up on this. This ship does not have a whole lot of armor. It only has 1,800, and that is with the bonuses that we get from fleet.
So yep, it's pretty well paper thin. But it does do quite a bit of damage, as you can see when it was firing. It does do quite a lot. So here we go. We have our reports now, so now we can go turn this mission in and get this one completed.
Warp drive active.
Here we go, we're almost back now.
You know, that is twice already in the last 3 missions that I have almost lost a ship.
Well, one of these times you're going to give all the viewers what they want to see, and that is an exploded ship.
I would rather do it with one that is a little less expensive.
Well, but that's not as much fun, and you know it. Now, at some point here, we are going to do some PvP. That is probably not going to happen today, as I don't have the ships fit and ready for that just yet. But I do plan on doing some PvP. And the guys who are here that are EVE players, you are more than welcome to join us in that. We don't have any problems losing some frigates to that little venture. It makes for some very good show. So that's just something to keep on your radar and to keep you coming back to see if that's what we're doing that night. We might actually try to get some of that in tomorrow since it is a holiday and I am off work. I'm thinking of doing that sometime during the day just to get some practice in. So let me get this one here turned in. And we still have not gotten our faction mission yet tonight, so hopefully we're going to get that here fairly soon. We're going to give this just a second here. We're going to look at the payouts here real quick and see how we've been doing tonight. It looks like so far tonight we have only received one bounty prize of 1.3 million, which is not very good, but it is what we have managed to receive. Most of what we've had to do tonight have been tag missions and not bounty missions. Let's go ahead and see what else we can get here. We got the Rogue Slave Traders. This is a 2-part mission, so we're going to go ahead and get started on that one. That one is another system over, and it looks like... I'm trying to see who this is against. This is against the Sansha Nation.
That is EM damage.
And it says I do need more cargo space than I currently have, so I'm going to have to clear up a little bit of room so I can pick up all of these prisoners.
Seeing as this Vagabond is not set up to tank Sansha, I will be switching back to the Proteus.
And there now I have enough room to actually complete this mission, which is one of the things that I try to make sure that I do have. So here we go. We're going to go right back out here and get started on this. As soon as he's out in space here, then we'll get moving again and get to that next system.
Yep, that vagabond had 789,000 worth of armor repairs. I did not pay for that. I will switch an armor rep off of one of my other ships later and rep that up. This way it won't cost me anything.
Warp drive active.
Looks like we just passed Saturn on this one. Had some nice little rings around it. So here we are at the gate. As soon as we stop moving here, we can get through and just go get started on this particular mission. Now this one we have not seen yet, so this is another one of the new ones that we have not seen. So let's hope we can get through it here fairly quickly and get it done.
And I am through, so you can warp us there at any time.
Warp drive active.
And here we go, we are now on our way in.
Looks like you warped off just a little bit before me, so you will be taking all the aggro most likely.
It depends on whether or not it's gated. Since we haven't run this one yet, I'm not sure that it is or it is not gated.
I don't believe this one is, but well, nope, it is not.
It is not gated. I'm going to start with that Centus Dreadlord. It is worth 1.1 million ISK. I do have my short range already on their way out, and we're going to get started on him. I already have everything else locked onto me, so all of that damage is already coming my direction. They are directly below us, so that makes getting a camera angle on them just a little bit more fun here. As soon as he gets in, we're going to have him start taking out these frigates that are quick flying right up on top of us at about 500 meters a second on a few, and the Demon, however, was doing almost 1 kilometer per second. Now, as they get within 10 kilometers, I can use my own guns to fire at them, but until they are within that range, I cannot really fire at them. Now, these are Sancha, so these are some of the newer style ships. So let me get onto one of these so you can see what that looks like. They are kind of buggish-like, but they are kind of a cool little ship. They kind of do look like a beetle, which makes them very, very interesting. If we look at the Dreadlord over here, the one that I am currently firing at, it is the one that you do see in some of the EVE videos that are out, done by CCP. They are a very interesting looking ship, very, very bug-like.
And these are faction ships that you can get and fly in-game. So if you do train your skills right, you can fly these ships. They are kind of expensive to get, but they are also very fun to fly from the people that I know who have them, so.
And there he goes. He has now died, and we are moving on to the next ship. We do also have some slave pens and things out here that we need to destroy. So we're going to go ahead and get those locked up. The slave pens should be where I pick up the prisoners from. So we will go ahead and get those destroyed just as soon as we can.
Yep. Now, as soon as this mission is done, I will let you fly in and pick those prisoners up, because if I do remember right, this mission does have a chance to have a ship spawn in that is worth anywhere from 1 to 10 million in bounty. If you do get the 10 million in bounty one, he has the chance to drop a +5 implant.
And I've got my hopes set. I switched to my long-range sentries just because these guys are just a hair bit out of range of my guards. My guards' range right now seems to be between 40 and 50, they can hit between 40 and 50, but not as accurately as they can under 40 kilometers. So my Wardens, however, are a little over 120 kilometers on their range, so they hit quite a bit better at range. There went the first one. And now we're going to go ahead and start on this Stargate. And his shields are already gone. Armor is almost gone. We'll see if this is structure tanked. It does appear that it is, and we are just very, very slowly ticking through this. If you want to take your Proteus over there and get started, or send your drones, that would be amazing.
Yep, my drones are already on the way, and I will start meandering my way over there while I get our salvage ship into the proper system here.
Now, some of the things that are in these missions you do not need to destroy. We tend to just destroy all the destructible buildings, just in case there is a good drop from them. You never really know. Even EveMissionReports.com does not have all the 100% correct info on whether or not it will drop something, because a lot of it is left to chance.
These missions are changed up every once in a while by CCP. They will adjust things in them. So those mission reports may not be up to date because somebody may not have submitted the changes that have been made yet.
Now you'll notice on our CTV99live.com that those mission reports are included in the entry with the videos that are on there. If you just click the more info when you click on the video, you should be able to see the entire mission report of what was there and the approximation of bounties and tag values. So you can kind of see what we're making and how we're continuing on. We're doing that just as a service, but like I said, you are more than welcome to take a look over there and see how that is. So Stargate is just getting down to about 30% structure, and then it will pop, and I will get moving towards the can that I need to pick up so we can turn this mission in. It looks like we didn't get a payout blip here, so let's take a look at that while we're waiting. Just a little over 1 million in bounty, and this is from the last mission. This does not include the guys that we just killed, so hopefully that will come in here in just a few minutes. Now we're down to about 10% armor on this particular Stargate. 11%, 9% now. I actually wish you could change a little bit of this up so you could just see that stuff directly, but unfortunately they are not allowing that right now.
If you just stay right where you're at, I will tractor in this can.
Okay. So I forgot to pick up my sentries anyway, so it's a good thing that I stopped. I'm just going to tell it to automatically open it, so it should just start flying right towards it until it is in range. Which won't be too terribly far, and then I should be good to go here. And there we go. I happen to have my livestock, aka prisoners. So now I can go ahead and go back and turn this in.
Warp drive active.
And I will stay here with the salvager just in case our random spawn happens to appear. I believe we got a Sasha tag.
Ooh. Let's
Not
hope.
sure where it went, and there it is.
It'd be kind of nice if it was actually worth something.
Warped
Nope, we're not that lucky.
Well, we can't be lucky every time, unfortunately.
Only worth 5,400.
Well, nonetheless, it's another tag to throw into our tags can, just so that we have another one to show that we did complete a mission of such.
docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
I'm going to go ahead and turn in part 1 here and see what it says we're supposed to do for part 2. The part 1 is now complete. Now we're on to part 2. Part 2 is against the Sansha Nation, yet here again, it is in a different system than we were in last time. It is paying almost 3,000 loyalty points and just a hair under 1.7 million ISK. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and undock.
I'm just now heading back to the gate to head back into the staging system. Oh, and right as I warped off, our guy spawned in.
Ah, did the salvager leave too?
Yes, they both left right as he popped into the area.
Yeah, we just missed it then. That's just our luck for the night. So unfortunately, there's no way to get back there because I have already turned in the mission. So we will just have to miss out on that one and go, well, next time we know after we turn in the mission, he's probably going to spawn in. What a little pain in the ass.
Yes, that kind of sucks because he does have the possibility to pay out very, very well.
His tag would have been worth quite a lot, I'm imagining.
I don't know about his tag. His bounties are set at anywhere from 1 to 10 million, depending on which one you get. So, I will warp back to the station here so you can warp us to whatever system we are heading to next. Yes, I've only had this mission a few times, and the best bounty I've had on him was 2.5 million.
One of these times we're going to find something a little better. You just never know. I did finally get our notification that we have a faction mission now.
All right.
So as soon as we complete this one, then we will move on to that one. Now we're going to go ahead and warp the squad in. Even though they're quite a ways away from me, they will still end up at the same point.
And we are actually in the same warp bubble, it appears.
That's really funny with how far away you were.
Yep, but it will slowly drag us together on here, and we will end up about 3,000 meters from each other.
Here he comes. He just keeps getting closer and closer and closer, and one of these times he's just going to hit me. And then he disappears.
Nope, I am right there next to you, about 4,000 meters to your left.
There he is. So we're now here, and we're going to go ahead and go through the gate and get started on the second part of this mission. So as soon as you're through, let me know, and we'll get right in here.
I am through if you want to warp us, and then I will stop the Noctis so he does not follow. I'm not sure if this one is gated or not. I don't believe it is.
And it looks like we made the exact same warp bubble all over again.
I think you're stalking me.
Hey, you're the one who keeps getting behind me here. I think you're the stalker.
Actually, it shows I'm in front of you on my screen, so...
You're lucky this time. But as you'll see, I am posting our Twitch feed in each system that we happen to run into, just trying to get someone to say hello. Here we go. We've got a bunch of little guys here. We got some Centis Lords that are very close, so we're going to go ahead and just start on those. They are already locking me up, so we want to get these guys taken out fairly quickly here.
I am already heading for the cruisers.
And I'm going to let you take care of those while I work on these two battleships. Now, all of these are a bounty pay mission, so we might stick around in that very last room this time with a fighting ship just in case something shows back up. Now, one way we could have made sure that we could have gotten back would have been to have bookmarked a wreck just in case, so we could jump right back in and see, you know, and go ahead and kill the last guy that was there before he worked off again.
Unfortunately, since you had turned in the mission as soon as the last ship left, he would disappear, and it would not matter if we had bookmarked it or not. I guess it would help if I would activate my stasis web on this guy.
That would help just a bit, I would think. And we are now on to the last guy that's in the room here. And then we'll move on into the actual first room. At this point, this is just the entry gate.
I will approach that gate as I get our salvager into this room. Might as well reload my guns while I'm on the way.
Here we go in the next room already here. They are all in one big complex, lots and lots of guns. So I'm going to go ahead and get out my short-range sentries again, and the first thing that I'm going to start on is going to be all of these multitude of guns. And we have stasis towers as well that I need to take out. We're going to get the stasis tower off of here first, and then we're going to continue to move on. The stasis towers will slow him down quite a bit, so I want to make sure to get those off the list.
I'm going to go ahead and start getting these guys locked up and start on ones coming in.
Now, as you can see, I'm webbed already, and I am down to 69% shields already. So they are starting to pound through me here. See if I can bring that up so you can actually see the readout. There you go. Now you guys can actually see the readout of where I'm at on my current shields and armor. Should probably go ahead and take out the rest of these guns and cruise missile batteries. That would take a lot of that damage off of me, instead of worrying about the single Centis Lord that's here, because I can very, very quickly get through their shields and armor. And as these guys are slavers, my guess is they want to make me their slave. However, I am not a willing participant. get a good look here at this Sentis Salvage Lord. Let's see what he actually looks like. Oh, he looks just like the last one we saw earlier.
Oh, and I am now webbed by one of these frigates. I better start up my armor reps and get them going, as they just finished off my shields.
Yep, they have quit targeting me, so I'm assuming that they are completely targeting you now.
We have containers all over the place in here.
I did not look to see if I actually need to pick anything up here. So we're going to take a quick look at that and see. It just says we have to find the slavers and destroy them, and that actually just ended it. The last slaver is now dead. Now we're just going to look and see if there's any good buildings in here that we need to take care of. And there are not. Everything is just a fence or a wall or a barrier, and none of those we really care about destroying, as they don't have any chance to drop anything. So that ends that part. I'm going to go ahead and head to the Stargate here to get this one turned in, and then we'll do that faction mission that just popped up.
Since we got a fighting mission the other day, my guess is going to be that this faction is either a career or a mineral mission.
Yep, you're probably right. That's probably what it's going to be. But however, at any rate, it will be worth some faction standings to me. And it will be an increase in standings for the particular corporations that we're doing them for everyone else in the fleet. Here we go, we're back in home system now, so we're going to go ahead and get this one turned in.
Warp drive active.
Looks like we might have got another bounty payout here. We did 776,000 for the Berserkers, the Demon, the Devil, and the Sentis Dreadlord. I assume those are from the previous mission, not the one that we just completed.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, here we go. We're going to go ahead and get this one turned in here. And that will take care of that one. Now we're going to go ahead and open up this one and see what she's offering. Yep, it was a mineral mission. It is just for Kernite. They will give us, however, a cybernetic subprocessor standard, which is a level 4. Which will give us a 4-point increase in intelligence for one of our lucky courtmates who needs something of that level. But because this is just in the next system over and all they want is some Kernite, I should be able to buy that on the open market right there and complete the mission. Just buying it is a whole lot faster than mining it yourself, although you can do that if you want. We tend to just buy it because what you spend is less than what they are giving you as an implant in value.
You will end up spending about 500% more than what it is actually worth, because in the area of space we are in, you cannot mine Kernite. You have to go to another area of space to do that, but it is still well worth it, considering the implant you get is worth about 20 million and you only spend about 2 million for the amount of Kernite you need to complete it.
Now that is hoping that you have made enough in your missions along the way that you have that much. Now if you do not, you will be unluckily having to go out and mine that. Now with the new Venture frigate that's in the game, you can mine on any level character, and you can just jump right out there and pick up some Kernite in a little bit of no time at all. Typically within 15 to 20 minutes you can mine that much in just that little ship. Here we go. I have to figure out where that mission was at now because I did not mark it. I have to read the details again so I can dock up at that station.
This gives me a chance to get back and dock up and throw an armor repair onto my Vagabond and get that armor back into shape.
And this is just materials for war. Anytime you get that mission level 1, 2, 3, or 4, it is always a mineral delivery of some kind, or an ore delivery. Those are the ones that typically pay out the implants. On the fighting ones, you do tend to get an implant as well. Maybe not the same level, but you do tend to get one. The materials for war is one where they make sure that they are giving you a decent implant. So long as you're not getting a social one, I do consider them decent.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Now that we're here, we're going to go ahead and accept this one. And like I said, this is materials for war preparation. Now that that one is accepted, it's going to tell me that I don't have enough cargo space, and that is quite alright. What we are going to do is hop over here onto the market, and we are going to look for some Kernite, which is what we need to deliver. I need 8,000 units. So we're going to figure out where that ran off to on our list here. There are some here in the station, so I tend to just sort that by price and then find the cheapest price in the station and just buy as much as I need of that particular ore. So on this one, I need 8,000 units. It's going to cost me right at 2.3 million ISK to do that. Now that I have that bought, I can go ahead and close that window out, come back here, and just complete that mission. As you can see, now that it is already completed, that one is now done. You do need to remember that when you switch stations, you do need to pick up the implant or whatever it is they have given you so that you're not leaving it there. The estimated value of this implant is 22.2 million, so as you can see, I paid just 10% of what it was actually worth to just buy the ore outright. I'll take that one there with us, and now we will head back. While we're heading back, I will bring up the standings here real quick so you can see what happened. On that one, we only got a 0.9736 increase. It does not pay near as well as you can see the previous Serpentis shipbuilders that we had the night before last. It paid 8.5%, so you would have to do 9 of these particular missions to equate to what the one was before. That just happens to be how that goes, and there is no rhyme or reason for it. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and jump back now, and then we'll grab another mission here.
By the time you get back, I should have all my armor repped back up and be able to dock up and put this armor repair back on the ship that it came off of.
Okay, so let's get docked back up here and see what we get next. I'm almost thinking that at this point we might have seen almost all the ones that this particular agent is going to hand out. If I see another 1 of 5 in here, I'm going to assume that that's about correct.
As there are a large number of possible missions that you can get. Each area of space only has a certain number. Each agent only has a certain number, so if you want something different, you can just move a couple systems over and get a different level 4 agent, and then continue on. It doesn't have to be for a different corporation. It can be for the same corporation, but different agents will give out different sets of missions. Some of them will be the same, but there will be some differences between them.
Here we go. Let's see what we got. We got Gone Berserk again. So we got another decent one that we got last night. Should pay out fairly well for us. We'll go ahead and accept that one, and that is in the system that I actually just came from. So I have to go right back there again and do this one. So if you're outside the station already, then we'll go ahead and just jump over and get this done. And one of my favorite ships just undocked behind us, that would be the Obelisk.
Warp drive active.
I can't zoom in on it because I'm currently warping, but that is one of the largest haulers in the game, designed for moving mass amounts of minerals or items from one system to another.
I am particular on the Charin, which is another freighter that is very massive. The ships are not small, but they can haul a very large amount of items. They just do not move very fast because of their size.
So as soon as you let me know you're in system, we'll jump right into this and get this running.
I am in the system, and I am warping the Noctis that way as well. And it looks like your Obby is actually headed to the system we're in.
That's kind of funny. Must be just passing through, because there's not much in this system. And here we are in the exact same warp bubble all over again. He has to quit following me.
If I could lock you and shoot you right now, I would.
Here we go. Let's see what we've got. Should have some guys popping in here. There we go. And they are going to be coming in at 80 kilometers. So we're going to have to get them to come in a little bit closer here to us before they are really going to be worth much of anything at all. As you can see, my sentries, as soon as I popped them out, already started firing because I was already locked by these guys. So hopefully they should all start moving this direction.
And you pop the cruiser, so therefore you hit the first trigger and got our next two cruisers in.
Yep, and they're already locking me up, which is perfectly fine. And then we will continue to go on. And here's the next two. They are in now as well. My sentries will continue to just pound through them in pretty much the order that I was shot at, which is perfectly fine by me, and let them just knock them right off the map here. And while I have the damage, my wardens are in no danger of actually being shot at or having any damage done to. I'm going to let you work in on these close-in battleships. I'm going to work on the ones that are a little further out.
I am trying to find where my drones went. There they are. There's the guy I need to be shooting.
360 degrees and you can still lose your drones in space.
Well, this is three-dimensional, so...
Yeah, I can't ever imagine playing Eve as 2D. That would actually be kind of funny, but I can't see it.
I guess I better get my shield booster going, as I am in a Minmatar ship again.
Looks like we just got 2 more battleships in at close range here. Taking out that last Crusader that was way out there, that should pop another spawn for us as well. And then I will continue on with this Hydra that was out here.
Yep, I am headed for one of these Hydras myself.
We have 2 Death Knights that have also just jumped in. So we're going to see which way they decide to go. And depending on where they go will depend on whether or not we start shooting them as well. Hopefully we can get this far out Hydra taken care of first, because then I can switch to a closer range sentry, since everything now is popping right on top of us. Does look like that I can go ahead and switch out here, so I'm going to do that real quick here. And then go ahead and get these guys re-engaged on these closer targets.
I will go ahead and get my stasis web drones over to the one you're shooting at. Try to help you out there a bit.
That one is now gone. We're moving on to the next cruiser.
Yep, and my drones are already on him. And we just got a couple frigates in, so I am going to move their way while I get them locked. We'll send my drones on them. And they just stasis webbed me back, so...
That's always handy. You like it when they use your own tricks against you.
not necessarily in this case. Okay, we have a few battleships close by here, so I will actually send my stasis drones onto the one you're working on. Since I have a web on my ship, I will use it on the one that I am working on.
Now I'm switching my sentries to the same one you're on. It's a little bit closer, so I should have a much easier time hitting it.
Yep, and apparently those frigates had insta-popped 2 of my stasis web drones. Either that or it was the battleships, because 2 of them just all of a sudden disappeared.
As we're killing these Hydras, we're getting Death Lords in. They're going to come in at range, so they should start working their way this direction as we continue to kill the ones that are up close.
Right now I've really got no speed as I am bouncing off of all these structures trying to get to these battleships.
You're still holding up pretty good in the 400 to 500 meter a second range most of the time here. You might want to start making your way back towards me. That one Death Lord is starting to get outside of my range.
Oh, I'm headed towards this Hydra that's right here next to you, so...
Another Hydra and another Ogre here.
Yep. Ogre is pretty much on top of me, so I will start on him first.
I just switch my drones to that one.
I will actually put my stasis drones on the other one so he can't run away that fast.
And there went one more, and we just got another Death Lord in here.
And now my guns are reloading.
Hate it when I run out of ammo. There we go, and now I have to switch drones because my short range cannot hit these guys where they're at now.
I am just going to go ahead and go for the guy that is the farthest out and start on him. Send my drones out there first. Try to keep him from running away too fast.
He's actually locked into me, so he's still moving in, so that'll be great.
Okay, well, I can switch them onto... Is it this Death Lord that you are shooting at?
His shields are 3/4 gone already. We actually have some armor damage on him. He must not have perfect skills because before he was down below 20%, he was already taking armor damage. So he really should have worked on that before coming to play with us. Now we're on to the next one here.
Well, it is kind of an unfair advantage since we really don't play nice.
Well, just like in real life, the guys who play nice are always the last ones to win. And these guys are worth 1 million apiece, so that is quite well worth it to do this mission. And here we go with the last one. And he is just not holding up very well. There he goes.
These guys are shield tanked in Amar ships. So once their shields are gone, they do not hold up.
There's all kinds of things out here. Unfortunately, nothing that we can blow up. So we're going to go ahead and just head on back and get this one turned in.
Warp drive active.
So now we can dock up and get this one turned in. And then we'll see what the next one is that we can get. And now we have an orca and 2 retrievers out.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Apparently somebody's out doing some mining.
And might very well be one of our viewers. I'm gonna get this one here turned in. And then go ahead and see what else we can get here. We got unauthorized military presence. This one's going to be versus Angel. It's going to be in the same system we just came from. So apparently tonight we're having a very good time over there kicking the crap out of the pirates. Our salvage ship should still already be there. So we'll just get headed
Yes,
over
he
there.
is. I'm actually going to dock up. Real fast, and I think I will grab my Loki, since I don't have any replacement drones for this ship, and I lost most of them.
Not a problem. You already know where we're going, so I can go ahead and just go get started.
Let's see, you said it was Angel, so I need to swap out my ammo in this one. If I remember right, that is Fusion. You're over there making a heck of a lot of noise.
Hey, I gotta get a drink, man.
I'm actually running out of fusion ammo that I didn't bring a whole lot of it with me. Didn't expect this many Angel missions.
Yeah, we have gotten just a couple of Angel missions out of this. So I'm here and going to jump on in, and as soon as he gets here, he can just warp directly to me.
Warp drive active.
So we got some guys on the gate here, and we'll have to take care of before we can go in.
I'm just now getting to the Stargate and jumping into system.
So I'm just going to launch out some medium drones here and let them take care of it while I make my way the 20 kilometers to the gate. As you can see, they are quite mad at me at this point.
They're just trying to give you a warm hug.
Well, I'm not so sure that I need it. And they are now starting to hit my drones. I'm going to return these guys up because I have two of them that did not lock me up. And get them back before they take too terrible much damage here. We're going to launch out our lights now and take out these little frigates that are here. This way we can continue moving on towards that gate.
Oh, you really haven't done a whole lot to these guys.
Nope, not yet.
So I will take advantage of my 25k web on this Loki.
Now my lights don't do near as much damage. As you can see, this cruiser is not going down very quickly. His is going down quite a bit faster. But they do still do a decent amount of damage to them.
I sent my drones down to help yours out real quick.
Now we've only got one guy left, and he'll have all the drones on him here just right shortly.
Plus all the beautiful T2 guns that are fit to the ship.
And there he goes. Now that all those are back in, we can go ahead and just jump on in and see what's next. Oh, it's a very large room full of crap. We're going to have to do long range here just to try to get some guys up close to us so that we can get started on them.
I'm trying to finish up the salvage here.
I'm just going to lock up some battleships here and get them moving our direction. Hopefully by just attacking the battleships, I should be able to get everyone else to start heading this way, which would be very, very handy.
Yes, they are all a ways out, aren't they? And apparently they have one of your drones target painted.
If they're trying to make it quite a bit bigger here.
Yep,
Don't know if that's actually going to work for them, but they can try.
Well, they have two target painters on it now, so they are trying their best to make its signature radius go way up.
So once this first battleship is down, I'm going to start taking out the frigates that are headed in here and get those off the list, and then we'll start working on the cruisers.
And since you're going to be working on frigates, I dropped out the stasis web drones I actually had in my Loki, and I will send them down that way. Make these frigates a little bit easier of a target to hit, if they can get to them in time.
Yep, they are dying just a little bit quickly tonight. But this is an Arc Gisty, so he does not die very quickly. He does have a very decent tank on him. Now we're starting on the cruisers.
Yep, and my stasis web drones are dying extremely fast. I'm trying to recall them, but I've already lost 3 before they could even make it halfway back to me.
We might want to keep those under wraps for a little bit. At these extreme ranges, that is something that definitely happens.
So I will start burning down towards the rest of these guys below here.
Now these are proximity triggered too, so when you get within a certain range, they will just automatically start coming this direction. So as he gets closer, hopefully we get some of those proximity sensors triggered. But I'm going to go ahead and try, while I have my long range ones up, to get the next group to start coming this direction.
You have, yes, I see you are pissing off the rest of them, so...
I have not got to that farthest out group though, I can't quite hit them.
Okay, well, as soon as this last battleship down here is dead, I will start heading that way, and then I will drag them back.
I should have everybody else dead before you can get there, so that should be just fine.
And apparently I just triggered their proximity because they are starting to lock me up.
So you should be able to start moving your way backwards now. I'm down to the last 3 out of that left group. And the other guys are starting to move in fairly quickly here. They are burning at about 500 meters per second on the frigates and 300 on the cruisers. So they should be here very, very soon.
This will give me a chance to focus a little bit on the salvage of that first gate. Get all that taken care of real quick while we wait for all of those guys to come into range.
I went ahead and put you on guard since they are attacking you, so my guys should, as they come within range, start being able to kill them. However, they've already stopped after the first one because apparently nothing can hit you. I'll just keep taking out these frigates that are inbound here.
Yeah, so I'm almost back to you, and now that you've taken out that frigate, the closest one is 70 kilometers off, so unless you have wardens out, they're really not going to hit them.
Yep, I do have wardens out. So I'm finishing taking them right on out here as we go.
And they are shooting at me with autocannons, so they are not hitting me at all.
So I have two that are back there stuck, it looks like. Hopefully they're going to make it up here before all these guys are dead. We're going to leave those two battleships for the last here. Try to get the rest of these out first.
Yes, it looks like two cruisers are stuck. They don't appear to be moving in towards us.
I've got one of them now within range, so I'm going to get him out. The other one does appear to still be moving just a little bit. It's our Angel Cartel personnel carrier. We do want it to be a little bit closer. It's the one that has all the stuff that we need. So it needs to be in range at least of the salvager, which it should be here just ever so shortly. Now. I'm thinking you could actually probably go ahead and bring in the salvager. Nothing here should be able to hurt it too terribly bad.
Well, he has got to make his way to the gate because I forgot that this gate is 20k from the warp in spot. So by the time he gets to it, all these guys should be dead. I will pop out my last remaining two stasis web drones and send them towards that Gisty warlord.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to slow down the Angel Cartel support personnel ship. It's only running at 186 meters a second currently. The battleship is at 217 and slowing. It is now down to under 200, under 190. It is now slower than the personnel transport. Still going down to 170, 160 now. Down to 150, 140, 130, 120, 100, 98, 90, 80. It's like it's stabling off at about 80 to 90 meters per second. And starting to pick up steam.
And this is with just two stasis web lights. They are not the mediums or the heavies, as they do have light, medium, and heavy variants of all the ECM drones. These are just the lights. So you can see how well they do. And you insta-popped your personnel carrier.
Yep, that's fine. I knew you had tractor beams on you, so... Just as easy for me to let you grab it with a tractor beam than it is for me to try to fly at 200 meters a second to it. So I'll just get you within range here and then pick up that can as you grab it.
And I have to find it in this list.
Oh, but we do have a few things that I can destroy out here while I wait. Can't reach them all, but I can reach a few of them. I'm going to go ahead and stop here and go ahead and get these out and start killing them.
I found the one ship you needed, and I am pulling it in first.
When it actually has one that it says I can't shoot at. Two that I can't shoot at. That's okay. We'll just work on the next major assembly array then. Should pretty much insta-pop.
And there is your can.
Thank you very much. Let me get that picked up here. And I'm trying to see if I can make another can. There's no guarantee that I can, but I'm going to try. We're at least getting some very nice explosions out of the deal. I've got this shipyard here left that I can destroy, and then we'll move on. It is now gone as well. I'm going to head back to the Stargate now.
Warp drive active.
And we'll get this one here turned in.
I better head my ship back there as well. I can leave the Noctis out here to finish up its job all alone.
So we'll knock this one up now that we have the militants that we need and get this one turned in. And so far tonight I have not had a need to use the guns that I have on my ship, which is a little bit interesting. I hope to get to use them every once in a while.
Just try to keep the dust out of the barrels.
At least make them feel a little bit useful, if nothing else. So it looks like we got a payout of about 5 million ISK on one of those missions. Looks like it was the EOM mission that we did just a few minutes ago. So that's kind of nice.
Yep, that mission pays out about 10.5 million if you do it solo. So it does pay a fairly nice bounty reward.
Let's get this one here turned in. And there it is. It is now complete. So now we're going to... Oh, I do not want to run a level 2. At least not right now. And we got Recon 1 of 3. I have actually been waiting for this set. It is either the first or the second one that you go into that has a mass number of ships that you do not need to kill. You just need to look at. However, I like to kill them all because they drop some very, very nice equipment. I think that's Recon Part 2. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this set. It is here in the local system. So if you're just outside the station, that will be amazing.
I am actually warping back to the station now. I was not paying attention to getting through the gate. Trying to focus on getting all this salvage done. So I will be there in just a few seconds.
And I think after we complete these 3 missions, that will be the end of our feed for tonight. So this is the last set of what we are doing. If you've not had a chance yet, please do check out ctv99live.com. That has our previous videos broken down by mission and by type. It also does have the other couple of games that we have done some reviews on there as well. Those other games will have their sections expanded as we have time. For right now, Eve is the primary one that we are focusing on. Here we go. Now that everybody's here, I'm going to get the squad warped in.
Warp drive active.
And then we're going to get started on this one. Now, this is against Serpentis, so we should do just fine.
I should have probably swapped out ammo, but that's alright. Shouldn't do too bad.
You can always just stab them.
Yes, I do have those very nice pointy things on the front end of this ship, so...
Impale them on the front of your ship. That would be extremely funny, too. So here we go at another gated community here.
Yes, we do like to be gate crashers. So,
And I bounced right off the gate as I'm trying to get in here.
so I will be in there first then.
Just by a second, it looks like. Luckily, it's not too terribly far that it's shooting us forward here.
And there is another gate in this one. We'll have to head towards.
There they come. Drop out our short range here and just start taking these guys out. And now they are target dampening me, so I can't actually see who my drones are firing at now. I am now sensor dampened by one of the guys that are out here. He has now been destroyed, so I can switch back over and see who's actually shooting at me now. We are working on that next guard. It is now down. Now we have a Grand Admiral worth 1.1 million just off the get-go on this mission. So as you can see, this should be a pretty fun mission. He does appear to have a good stack of hit points on him as well, and some good resistances, because he's not dying horribly quickly. Being that he should be an armor tank. If we're having a hard time taking out his shields, let's hope his armor is just as tough.
I am just now in range of him, so I've just activated my guns. Keep in mind, I am doing explosive damage, where these guys are weakest against kinetic and thermal. So I am not doing the best damage type for him.
And we did just get in another 1.2 million ISK guy, so this is definitely turning into a much better mission. And we got a couple more cruisers worth about 250 to 300,000 each. They're going to be the next ones that we take off the list before we move on to the battleship.
I'm actually starting on the battleship because he is literally on top of me, and he is blaster fit, so he is doing a decent amount of damage to my shields. I'm now getting into a nice orbit around him, so now it's getting hard for him to hit me.
And one cruiser down, now moving on to the second one. I'm just a bit of a hard time hitting this guy because he's only about 11k from me, and my guards, however, do not like hitting quite that close. But this way I do not have to switch, and it looks like we just got another wave of a couple more 1.2 million ISK ones. This is definitely turning into a very well-paying mission here.
Well, I just sent my drones to assist you. So they are headed for that cruiser that you are working on. And I am now sensor damped, so I cannot see that cruiser anymore. He is no longer locked.
It's fine, he's just about dead. Now I'm on to the next one. If you set yours to assist, I'll just fire my gun and they should move that direction.
And they are set.
And there they go. Even though I can't hit it just by doing an assist, it does get them to the point where they should start moving. And another couple of 1 million ISK guys in. I'm going to get
1.1, and we have a 1.2 as well.
I'm going to get started with our drones on this next cruiser, and then we'll move back to the battleships themselves. This is why the gun is still handy to have on the ship, even if I don't get to use it very often. It does help me direct his drones where I need them the most. There we go. Now we're going to get back started on this guy here.
And these battleships would die a lot faster had I actually switched out ammo and brought the right damage type. That is okay. They are still dying at a decent speed.
Get these guys taken out and then move on to the next room. Recon is one of the very well-paying missions that are still left in EVE. They used to all pay in levels of this size, and they have since reduced those to make it a little more grindy and a little less payout.
Yes, by doing so, they also made the battleships a little easier to kill, considering these 1.2s and $1.1 million ships are a little harder to kill. A lot of the new players just starting into level 4s were having a difficult time killing these battleships. Therefore, that is why they had toned it down just a bit, and now the majority of battleship spawns are only about 500,000 to 600,000.
Now, in this particular mission, we did not have to destroy any of the pirates that showed up. We could have just went through the gates and continued on without destroying them, so that is the way you can blitz this particular mission. However, that's not something we're going to recommend just due to the fact that those bounties are well worth the time that it takes to stop and just kill them. So now I'm 30k from the gate, so I'm just going to start approaching it. Hopefully our salvager is almost here and ready to start seeing what kind of good luck we're having tonight.
Considering how we started off the night, this is a very nice way to end it.
Yep, this is a very nice mission set to make it a much better night than the first couple of missions that we got. The second mission of the evening took almost an hour, which is very, very not normal for us. And it was just due to the amount of sheer damage that was coming in on that mission. That video will be posted on YouTube later tonight, separated out from the main feed so you can take a look at it. And it looks like we actually already got out a payout here, so let's see what it says we got. 2.2 million, and this is the previous mission, not this one yet. So I'm still attempting to get into range here. The Loki is quite a bit further ahead of me due to its speed increase.
Well, just the flying around to get to the target ships left me a little under 10k from the gate.
And before I leave, I'm just noticing there's some bunkers out here. Bunkers do have a chance to drop ammo and other items. So as I get stopped up here, I will stop and pop out some sentries and take care of those very, very quickly before we move on.
Warp drive active.
Oh, but I've already started warp, so I better stop that. There we go. Okay, I've got all those, so let's go ahead and launch these guys out and get these things popped real quick. So there went the first one. There went the second one. There went the third one, and here goes the final one. It doesn't look like we got anything out of any of them, so bum luck on that tonight. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and get into the next room here. This does appear to be the final room. There does not appear to be anyone here. Mission has just been marked as complete, as there is nothing here. We're going to wait just a second. We just had a pirate captain start yelling that we can't leave. One worth $1 million, and a little under $1 million. So we're just going to get started on killing these guys. And get them.
Definitely worth staying. Even the cruisers are worth 200,000 apiece.
This is part of what makes this mission worth doing, is the fact that you can come in and you can do, and you can make quite a bit of money even though you don't have to. Now I'm sensor dampened again, so I can't lock anything up, so my guards are just going to have to keep firing. Hopefully they're shooting the people that are sensor dampening me. Unfortunately, it looks like it's taking out that core admiral first, which is fine. As long as they continue to fire, I can sit here all night.
Yep, and I am already headed off to the guard, which is probably the one sensor dampening you, so I will have him taken down as quickly as I can.
And we just got more pirates in. So the next set here is worth almost $1 million, almost $1 million, and almost $1 million. So just right there, we've got $6 million in bounties just for sticking around. And we should, I think, get at least one more wave coming in the longer we sit here. So now that I'm unlocked, I'm going to go ahead and get started on these frigates here and see if I can't get them off the list before they get in too terribly close.
Yep, they are locked on to me, so they will be heading my way.
I've got one down. Now we're moving on to the second one. And as soon as I can figure out which battleship you are going to be shooting at, I will get my guards on that one.
I will broadcast the target, so this way you know.
And there we go. These guys are starting to melt like butter. Like I said, I was hoping for one more. I don't know that we're going to get it, but I was hoping for at least one more wave. That would be at least another 3 million is to split between us. And that would have been fairly handy after our losses earlier tonight to start seeing some good payouts.
I'm not sure if these guys are locked onto you or what. I have lost all locks on them.
I have 2 on me, and 1 apparently is still locked onto you, or it's locked onto one of my guards. I'm not real for sure.
I haven't seen him start firing yet, so it is hard to tell what he is doing.
At any rate, he won't be around for long. Now they are both locked onto me, the ones that are left. And they can continue to fire all they want. They're not doing enough damage to me to really make it that big of a deal. It definitely does not look like we are going to get another wave out of this. So this might be all we get.
Yep, apparently this is going to be it.
And there he goes, and that will be the last one for this particular mission. So get our guards back. We'll go turn this one in. Our salvaging ship should not be too terribly far behind.
Nope, I was waiting for that last ship to go pop before I activated the gate. And I will now dock up and actually get the proper ammo for this mission loaded in.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Now part 3 does have a toxic cloud in it that is going to do a lot of damage.
You can either use a very highly tanked ship for it, or you can use a very fast ship and just speed to the gate. You will have to get to a gate. It is about 50 kilometers from the warp end point. So it is your choice on that one, on what you want to do.
I'll probably just take the ship I'm in and just fly through. I should be able to tank the little bit of damage that it puts out.
They actually raise the damage that it puts out, so...
It looks like the final wave, there are 10 waves, and on the final wave it does double the damage of all the previous ones. So I will take quite a little bit of damage before I get through. So as soon as I'm done, I should be okay. I can withstand more than a 200 DPS tank, which is what it's recommending. Even if they've updated, it won't be higher than a 400, so I should be okay. But this next one is another fighting mission, so we're going to get right in there and get started on it.
Now there is a way on this next one to actually trick the trigger. On this one you have to fly to a gate and check out the gate. You can, as soon as you warp in, shoot the station that is there, and that will trigger all of the ships to spawn in. And this way, if you would like to kill them, you can. If not, you can take a shuttle or a fast frigate, fly off to the gate. As soon as you get there, it will trigger the ships to spawn, and then you can just turn and warp out.
Now we're not going to do that. We're actually going to even destroy the station, because the station does have a chance to drop some fairly decent items as well. So we're going to get out here and just get this done.
And it helps if I actually load the ammo into my guns instead of just dumping it in the cargo hold.
That would help just a little bit, I would think.
Warp drive active.
It's saying that they already see an intruder. However, there are no ships here yet. So I'm going to go ahead and lock up this facility. As soon as I get out of warp here and just fire my gun at it, it should be enough to get it to trigger everything that's going to come in here. As you can see, now we have a whole bunch of ships, and the damage is starting to come in quite quickly. We're just going to get started on these guys just as quick as we can here and get them off the field. As you can see, they come in from multiple different ranges here, so that is kind of something to watch out for.
As I said before, if you wanted to just blitz this mission, all you would have to do is just take a small fast ship, fly off to the gate that is about 50 kilometers from your warp in, as soon as you get there, it will trigger these guys, and then you can just warp back to the station and turn it in. These guys do pay bounty, so if you want to do as we are doing and stay here and kill them, you can do that too. And now I have to maneuver out of here because I am in the middle of this station and getting blocked by all of the pieces of it, so I'm going to fly out of here before I can start maneuvering off to my next target.
And I'll have to switch drones here in just a minute so I can hit those 2 sentry guns. There's one that is still out of my range that I can't hit. It's going to be about 85k out. It's right there beside that gate, so when you get near there, I'll let you take care of it.
Now there is one more small spawn that will pop in when we get over by the gate.
And there we go, we got those out. I'm going to start on this facility here. Those guns shouldn't do enough damage to you to worry about. This facility does have about 300,000 hit points total, so it's going to take just a little bit to tear through, but I want to see what it's going to drop tonight. Because the next one is really the boring part. It is just flying through that toxic wave, and then the mission is complete. There are no ships to destroy at all in the third mission. It is just a survival mission.
And I'm flying out here to take out these sentry guns since I can fly so much faster than you can.
And I've got the station already down to 25% shields, which should be about 1/3 of its total hit points. And we're already starting into armor on this bad boy.
I've got one sentry gun down and working on the next.
Looks like we're down to about 88% armor on the mining headquarters already. Now we just got another mercenary overlord that just came in and another gun.
That is because I got within 5 kilometers of the gate here, so...
The overlord, however, has not locked me up, but the gun has.
Yep, the Overlord has locked me, which is fine. I am headed back that way now.
The structure is down to about 65% armor, so we are just pounding right through it here. Now the mission is already complete at this point. You could just leave. However, we're trying to see what the station is going to give us as an extra added bonus. And we might get very unlucky and it might not have anything at all, but we're hoping to find at least something on it. Just hit under 50% on armor. There we just went under 40% on armor.
I'm just now getting within range of this ship and gun to start taking them out.
It's fine, the battleship just locked me up and we just hit 30% armor. We're down to 20% armor now. Now, if you're using regular guns to shoot at these stations, it's probably not worth the ammo depletion that you're going to spend. It is really most worthwhile if you have drones where you're not expending something that actually costs you ISK. We are now down to 10% armor.
Now that I am done with all the ships, I've started shooting at this station. Hopefully speed through it.
Structure is now starting to go down. It is no longer ripping shields or armor. And we're down to almost 90% already on its structure. So the 300,000 hit points that it had are not taking very long to get through. If we had another sentry boat out here at the same time, that would help this speed along quite a bit. The Tech 2 sentries are some of the highest hitting and heaviest hitting ones you can get. They do even hit harder than the Ogre 2s that you can fly, that actually have to move. And we just hit 70%.
Well, this Loki isn't anything to shake a stick at, considering I am hitting this thing for about 1,200 a volley. There was a smashing shot for 1,400, and one volley is about every 1.5 seconds.
He is doing very, very good damage. The sentries, as you can see on my screen here, are going between 350 and 800 per sentry. So if you add that up, it's a little over 3,500 to 4,000 in damage, depending on the round. So they're just pounding through. It's quite a lot of DPS to withstand. So we're down now to just about 30%, and this will be gone here in just a second. And then for the third part of this mission, he doesn't even need to undock. He can just stay docked up, because there's no reason for him to take his fleet issue stabber through this damage that's coming up.
I don't have a fleet issue stabber. I am in my Loki right now, and the other ship is a Vagabond.
That's right. The Vaga and the stabber just look so much alike.
They do. The stabber is the T1 equivalent. The Vagabond is the T2 heavy assault cruiser version.
One of these days I'll own one and then I'll remember the difference, but currently I don't. So we're down to 10% now.
Our salvager had got hung up on the gate back there, so he's just now getting in here.
That's okay. He gets to see the very nice explosion too.
And there it goes.
And it even dropped a can, so you'll have to let us know what it gives us.
Well, as soon as I can see, I will get that can locked up and drag it in.
Go ahead and dock up here.
Warp drive active.
Get this one turned in. Looks like we got another payout while we were sitting there running through that. Looks like we got about 7.4 million ISK so far from this one.
And we did get 1,000 Federation Navy large plutonium rounds, a Accord core compensation, which is a warp core stabilizer, so that will protect against warp scramblers and warp disruptors. And then we got the ever so famous scrap metal.
Scrap metal is always handy. So here's mission 3. I'm going to go ahead and accept it. And then we're going to go get it taken care of here real quick. And then, like I said, guys, that will be the end of the feed for the evening. We will not have any more going on tonight. I'm just going to jump right into this.
Yep, I will let you go with that one alone while I try to find some replacement stasis web drones, since I did lose a fair number of them tonight.
Yep, you might want to just pick up a 10-pack.
The rate I was losing them tonight, I think I'll pick up a 100-pack.
As long as they were only T1, that's not so bad.
There are no T2 drones of the ECM version yet. I don't know if there are actually any plans to make any or not, so we will just have to wait and see on that.
As you can see, I'm 60 kilometers away from that gate, and I do have to make it all the way there without dying. There will be some waves of damage coming in. It does start gradual and then get worse. As you can see, we just took the first wave, and it dropped me down to 96% on my shields. The second wave dropped me to 91%. But I am repping back here in between, so hopefully they're not going to get me down too terribly far before I can actually get there. Here comes another wave, and that one got me down to 89% after repping back, so only 2% further down.
Just so everybody knows how inexpensive those Stasis Web drones were, yes, they did pop very fast, but they are only about 50,000 a piece, so they're not very expensive at all. One of those battleships paid for more than enough to cover the 5 that I had lost.
And we just took another wave there just a second ago, and it only dropped us 1 additional percentage point down. We're within 45 kilometers now. And here comes another one. The damage is increasing. We are now up to 85% in damage on the shields, and it is repping back fairly quickly. You'll notice that on shields, the lower they get, the faster they rep. They are something where if there's less there, they do rep faster. There should only be 10 total blasts. We've already seen about 5, if I recall right. I'm already back up to 92%. Before the next wave even gets here, and here it comes. There's the next wave, and it dropped us clear down to 85%, but as you'll see, I'll rep back fairly quickly from that. And now we're down to 35 kilometers from that gate, so we're about halfway there. If I was in a faster ship or I'd fit an afterburner, I would be there before all 10 waves hit, and that would help out just a little bit. That last wave dropped us down to 84%. And now we drop down to 81% at 25 kilometers from the gate. Here comes another wave, and that dropped us down to 79%. So they are definitely starting to get harder here. I don't normally see this much damage unless there's quite a few ships shooting at me. The final wave is the one that's going to be the scary one, because it should take me down to about 50% of my shield in a single volley. And there goes another one back to 78% again. Now we're within 15 kilometers of that gate. And here comes the big wave. We're going to go from 86%, 87%, 88%, 89%. It should hit here any time. 90%.
Or did it already hit and you not realize it?
I don't know. There it goes. And that only dropped me down to 74% because I was able to rep up most of my shields before it hit. And that is it. That is all the more damage you have to tank. Now, do understand I have a very large tank on my ship here for shield resistances, so that was not as bad as it could have been. I'll open my fittings and give you a preview here. I had 50% explosive resistance, 85% kinetic, 82% thermal, and 55% EM. Had I had any less than 50% on those, you probably would not have wanted to try that mission unless you were in a very fast tanking ship. As you can see, it just ends you at a place like this. There's nothing here, and all you have to do is just warp back and turn this mission in, and it is complete. So I'm going to do that now. And that ends the Recon 3 of 3. That one opens so you can see it. And like I said, guys, this is the last one of the evening, so we will not be doing any more from this point on tonight. I do hope you enjoyed the show, and if you do appreciate it, please make sure to follow or check us out on Twitter at hashtag CTV99Live, or check out our website at ctv99live.com. You can also check us out on YouTube. I recommend doing that just directly from ctv99live.com now. It's a little bit easier than trying to remember our YouTube name. There we go. Let's get this one here turned in. And there we go. That ends Recon 3 of 3. I do appreciate you guys watching tonight, and do hope to see you again. Have a good night, guys. Fly safe.